Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Friday. Friday's the day when we hand the reins over to the BonBon buddies over on Patreon and I say, hey guys, vote me in a map. And they've gone with this one. It was a request map from Random 5 and a creator that we've not done before on this show, but this is their fourth map. Now, it's a vanilla tropical island map with shades of Incan or Mayan groundworks, which make it feel a little bit fantasy. But it isn't, strictly speaking, a fantasy map. It's got one major flaw with it, which is fairly easy fixed, and it does require a lot of polishing as you're going along if you want to have a glorious looking map. But honestly, I feel that this map might just be worth the effort. So that's something to like, isn't it? That's right, hitting that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Isle of Coratuga, Kuroa-tahi Fictional by SirCriticalLlama. Picture was taken at night, lovely picture there. Then you have your start square, which looks perfectly adequate to me, loads of water to build around, that's going to look pretty good. And then you've got your terrain heights, which is basically a couple of hills and buildable surface and lots of water. Resources are absolutely perfectly fine. I have no grumbles with them whatsoever. And then if we have a look at the fishing, we have anchovies everywhere, plus some salmon. Like a bit of salmon. I fancy a bit of salmon right now. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? No DLC required today. In fact, it is 100% vanilla. We'll be using the vanilla tropical theme and the realistic 1.2 LUT. It gives you a little bit of background on the actual map regarding this is their map number 4, and it's always worth having a read of these things. I do enjoy it when the creator's gone to a bit of effort with the description. Now, the highways. There is only one highway connection. It dead ends, so we won't expect to see any traffic. And we're off in the fog a little bit, so I don't mind too much that this bridge isn't properly aligned at this end. Although it'd be nice if it was. But look at those lane arrows. Left-hand drive, ladies and gentlemen. A left-hand drive on a right-hand drive map. And of course, if you switch things over in the settings, you get a right-hand drive with a left-hand highways. It's not fixable without going along the entire length of them and upgrading the roads into the direction you want them to actually go. The roads are a little bit lumpy bumpy coming across this long bridge, but again, that does mirror some bridges like this in real life, where obviously they've got to follow the underwater terrain a little bit as well. Doesn't look pretty, but it kind of is realistic, although I would like to see this come in level and stay level across rather than going up and down there. I understand why it's happened, I think I'd rather not have seen it. Here we're going across sand, so I understand why we don't have an embankment here, because sand isn't exactly the most stable for embankments. And now climbing up in towards the start square, it's a short highway that comes in from the edge of the map into the start square. What more do you want? The highways, once we're on land, don't have any real problem with them. They come together, then they stay equidistant. A little bit of terrain glitching in between, but it is very minor indeed, and not anything that I'd have too much of a moan about. Coming up to the dead end, which is in the start square, and the start square pushes out in front of us at this location. So if I pull back and give lots of room to the top of the screen, there you go. That's roughly a start rectangle, square. And somewhere off to the left here, we've got the asset pack of the day, and it's a pack today. It's the European Suburb pack by JanJan. 5 different buildings, one with a hole in the middle, one with gardens at the back, a corner unit like that, a small unit like that, and a big unit like that. JanJan, really good to see this work on the workshop, and it's nice to do something a little bit different for a change than all the usual great creators, because we've got lots of great creators who aren't names yet. Nice. Factoids because factoids. Gustave Flaubert, the French novelist, died on this day, the 8th of May in 1880. Some 25 years earlier, the opposite of later, his most famous novel, Madame Bovary, was published. Unfortunately, some people thought that the sexual and moral content of the book left a lot to be desired, and Flaubert was actually charged with producing pornography. It's not a laughing matter. He eventually got off the charge, but the book itself was still censored. That is Gustave Flaubert, who died today in 1880. Lovely. Right, anyways, great asset pack here. Glad this hasn't been censored. It's the European Suburb pack by JanJan. Very nice if you want to do a North European build. And there it goes. And with no rail, well, I guess about the shipping will be next, I think. The shipping? Yeah, shipping.
Are you fed up with random vanilla buildings spawning in random locations? Do you want a specific type of building in a particular zone? Then you need the beginner's guide to theme management. Click the information button below.
And so back to the shipping at the Isle of Coratuga, Kuroa-tahi, Fictional by SirCriticalLlama. And we have shipping lanes we do. They don't go across country, they go around the island so you can get to all aspects of it. And the good news is, you know that long low bridge? We don't go crashing through it. That's a relief, isn't it? Off the edge of the map there. And there's another one over the other side, around about, looking for a yellow dotted line. There it is. And that drifts towards that bridge, and you go, oh no, it's going to go. No, it's not. It's going to avoid it very nicely. No problems at all with the shipping lanes, and the shipping lanes could be quite important, especially if you fancy getting rid of that bridge. Oh, dropped the dropped the mouse there. Yeah, if you fancy getting rid of that bridge and just relying on shipping, that's a thing, you know. That is definitely a thing. And off the edge of the map. Okay, water flow. Well, the water starts up here, actually, in the start square. Got some nice marshy kind of possible areas there for building your possible city centre around. Could be fun. Water flows down away from it. That's good. Now, if we just check the water spawn points, you'll see... Oh, there's the other possible start point there. Both in the start square, those tail ends there. But yeah, water spawn points are there and there. So just be a little bit careful if you are working with the vanilla rules, you know, just pumping and pumping and what's the word? Not pumping, out pumping. Outsourcing your sewage into the rivers is what I'm trying to say here. Okay, right. I'm okay with the shape of the island. It's a little bit basic, but I don't mind it that much at all. And this island, I love this. This is the first BonBonB style type island in a long while. I'm okay with that, actually. Do you know what? Yep, there's your first BonBonB island for a long time. I'm good with this. We've even got a little place for me to move into. Little tower there. Might be a bit drafty and wet, but I'm sure we can find a way around it. And even the jetty isn't too badly placed either, so I'm okay with that. And we've got a sandbar, long, sheltered type island going on, just protecting the beaches. Let's have a look at this start square though, because this is, just want to show you, the land isn't perfectly flat, but it's flat enough to be able to do a reasonable, a fun, a three-dimensional build even. We have got some former ruins here, and do you know what? I like former ruins, current ruins, former settlements possibly. I like the shape of that. It leads you to think, well, what would that have been? Also with this one as well, what would this have been? Admittedly, the doors are a little bit wider than would be realistic, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. There is a third one over here. Now, this one I'm a bit confused by. This is the one that confuses me. To me, these were fields. It looks like fields, and plus it's fertile land. But look at the footpaths between the fields. Well, we've got trees growing up in the footpaths between the... Why have we suddenly got trees growing between the fields, but no trees in the fields? How would that have happened? I don't know. Little confused. But does it matter? Not really. What is quite nice though is this. I was talking about Mayan earthworks at the start of the show, and we have this. I'm again a little confused if you're talking realism. If you're talking fantasy, it's fine. Realism. How did the water get in here? Where did the water come from? Has it been pumped up from the river? Because it is quite a little way up from the river. I'm confused by that. What possibly I would have liked because it could have added something quite nice here, is not having water in, maybe having water in just that top section and have the rest of it as dry. And that would have then sort of like just led questions to sort of like, oh, I wonder what it'd be like if we put water in all of them. Then I'd probably be complaining that there wasn't water in all of them, and yeah, I can't have my cake and eat it. Do you like the way that there's a little gap through to the river there? Also, we've got a dry river, which is quite nicely done as well. If you have a look up here, you can see the sand extends up to that point there, and that is the shape of the land as well. If you put a water spawn at the top of that, the water is going to follow the route of the dry river. It's going to drown some trees, but yeah, it does actually work. We've got some fantasy rock work going on there. And then if we have a look at, vanilla waterfalls aren't pretty. They're never going to be pretty. So that's something that you could play with, maybe with that new waterfall asset from, is it Ryuichi Kaminoji made the waterfall asset? I'm sure it was him. Anyway, we've got some more rock works going on here. I like this, okay. Even though it doesn't make much sense, I do like that. And bizarrely, I don't like this asset. I think it works really well there. So credit for that as well. This, on the other hand, this washing up bowl, it's horrible. There's just has no life to it whatsoever. I mean, this one I don't mind so much. There's a crater there. It looks like a big puddle, right? And I love this. This little bit of terrain work and rock work in here works really very nicely as well. But this, it just looks like a toilet bowl, doesn't it? Yeah, something you sit on. My least favourite part of the whole map, even above the roads going the wrong way. Right, we're going to sort this out in a second. Right, camera is now moving again. Like the beaches, it does feel like a tropical location. Again, jetty on its own is fine. Two vanilla jetties side by side. Just say, hey, look, we are twin jetties. They're identical, and you can see the flaw in that. I don't mind them when they're on their own because you don't really notice so much. We've got an old fortress there. Stop the pirates from burying their treasure. 4 steps to the north, 3 steps to the south. And up here as well, we've got another. And I don't mind the water up here. For some reason, I like the water up here. I was less liking it when we were down near the river. I don't understand, guys, okay? My brain likes this, okay? It needs polish. Oh, boys, it needs a new theme. It needs polish. This is the sort of map which 60-minute map fix was built for. I would love to come and have a go at a 60-minute map fix on this one. But and this is my favourite part of the whole map. This bit here. Look at the terrain work here. I'm buying that 100%, even in vanilla. So there you go. Anyway, what do you think of this map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. I think it probably won't be. But it's actually one of my favourite ones of the month so far. In terms of if I was going to play one, I think this is going to be right at the top of that. I just fancy really doing this one up. Because aesthetically, it ain't much at all. In fact, it leaves a bit to be desired. I love the design, I love a lot of the ideas, but it is actually quite ugly because of the theme. I can't give it more than 2 stars, but it's got a lot of potential to be a lot more. Detailing on the whole is okay. It's not groundbreaking in any way, shape or form, but I think there's a lot of interesting details on here. I think I'm going to give it 3 stars, although there are some things that need fixing. 3 stars is still a fair score. Gameplay, I was going to go 3 stars on this as well, but then I remembered the backward-facing highways, where you go on the left for the right and the right for the left. So I've got to lose a star on gameplay for that. So 2 stars for gameplay, but again, that's easily fixed as well. Isle of Coratuga, Kuroa-tahi, fictional by SirCriticalLlama. That one, do you know what? I actually, of the last month, and we've had a lot of really good maps in the last month, that's the one I would play tomorrow. Even though it's flawed, I just really feel that I could stamp my own mark on that map and basically produce something quite nice. There you go. Thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing. Join me tomorrow for another map in the What's Map series, and we've got the Viewer's Choice Top 10 coming up on Sunday. Watch out for that one. See what's the best map of the last month.